So it would appear that the United States had some really good battery discovery, some breakthroughs. The United States made a breakthrough discovery, a battery discovery. And then they gave the technology over to China. Hmm, isn't that something else? So when a group of engineers and researchers gathered in a warehouse in Mukilteo, Washington, 10 years ago, they knew that they were onto something big. They scourged up tables and chairs, cleared out space in the parking lot for experiments, and got to work. They were building a battery, a vanadium redox flow battery, based on a design that was created by 24 United States scientists at a government lab. The batteries were about the size of a refrigerator, and they held enough energy to power an entire house. And they could be used for decades. The engineers pictured people plunking them down next to their air conditioners, attaching solar panels to them, and everyone living happily ever after, off the grid. Well, it was beyond promise, said Chris Howard, one of the engineers who worked there for a U.S. company called Uni Energy. Now, quote, we were seeing it functioning as designed, as expected. But that's not what happened. Instead of the batteries becoming the next great American success story, the warehouse is now shuttered and empty. All the employees who worked there were laid off, and more than 5,200 miles away, a Chinese company is hard at work making the batteries in Dilian, China. The Chinese company didn't steal this technology. Well, it was given to them by the United States Department of Energy. First in 2017 as a part of a sub license, and later in 2021 as a part of a license transfer. An investigation by NPR and the Northwest News Network found the federal agency allowed the technology and the jobs to move overseas, violating its own license rules, while failing to intervene on behalf of the United States workers in multiple instances. Now, China has forged ahead, investing millions into the cutting edge green technology that was supposed to help keep the United States and its economy out front. The Department of Energy says they actually decline. The officials decline NPR's request for an interview to explain how the technology that cost U.S. taxpayers millions of dollars ended up in China after the NPR sent the department officials written questions outlining the timeline of events. The federal agency terminated the license with the Chinese company, and the company is Delian Rongik Power Company Ltd. Yeah, we already know they probably just terminated the license in show only. Quote, the DOE takes America's manufacturing obligations within its contracts extremely seriously, the department said in a written statement. They continue, if DOE determines that a contractor who owns a DOE funded patent or downstream license is in violation of its United States manufacturing obligations, the DOE will explore all legal remedies. Several U.S. companies have tried to get a license to make the batteries. The department is now conducting an internal review of licensing of the vanadium battery technology. Vanadium battery technology. And whether this license and others have violated the United States manufacturing requirements, the statement said. Forever Energy, a Bellevue, Washington based company, is one of several U.S. companies that have been trying to get a license from the Department of Energy to make the batteries. Now, Joanne Skivaski, Forever Energy's chief financial officer, has been trying to get a hold of a license for more than a year and called the department's decision to allow foreign manufacturing mind boggling. Quote, this technology, made from taxpayer dollars, it was invented in a national lab. Now it's deployed in China and it's held in China. To say it's frustrating is an understatement, she says. The idea for this battery began in the basement of the government lab, as we said at the top, 3 hours southeast of Seattle, called Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and it was in 2006. And more than 2 dozen scientists began to suspect that a special mix of acid and electrolyte could hold unusual amounts of energy without degrading. They turned out to be right. It took 6 years and more than 15 million taxpayer dollars for the scientists to uncover what they believed was the perfect vanadium battery recipe. Others had made similar batteries with vanadium, but this mix was twice as powerful and did not appear to degrade the way cell phone batteries or even car batteries do. The researchers found the batteries capable of charging and recharging for as long as 30 years. Gary Yang, the lead scientist on the project, said that he was excited to see if he could make the batteries outside the lab. The lab encourages scientists to do just that in an effort to bring crucial or critical new technology into the marketplace. The lab and the United States government still hold the patent because the United States taxpayers paid for the research. And in 2012, Yang applied to the Department of Energy for a license to manufacture and sell the batteries. The agency issued the license, and Yang launched Uni Energy Technologies. He hired engineers and researchers, but soon ran into trouble. He said he couldn't persuade any United States investors to come on board. Quote, I talked to almost all major investment banks. None of them wanted to invest in the batteries, Yang said in an interview, adding that the banks wanted a return on their investments faster than the batteries would turn a profit. There's some guys for you there. He said fellow scientists connected him with a Chinese businessman named Yan Hui Liu and a company called Dillian Ronga, whatever it is, Power Company Limited, along with its parent company, and he jumped at the chance to have them invest and even help manufacture the batteries. At first, Uni Energy Technologies did the bulk of the battery assembly in the warehouse. But over a course of the next few years, more and more of the manufacturing and the assembling began to shift to the Rongook Power Company. Well, Chris Howard said in 2017 that Yang formalized the relationship and granted DeLeon Power Company Limited an official sublicense, allowing the company to make the batteries there in China. Any company can choose to manufacture in China. But in this case, the rules are pretty clear. Yang's original license requires him to sell a certain number of the batteries in the United States, and it says those batteries must be substantially manufactured here. And in an interview, Yang acknowledged that he did not do that. Uni Energy Technology sold a few batteries in the United States, but not enough to meet its requirements. The ones it did sell, including in one instance to the United States Navy, were made in China. But Yang said in all those years, neither the lab nor the department questioned him or raised any questions. Then in 2019, Howard said Uni Energy Technologies officials gathered all the engineers in a meeting room, and he said supervisors told them they would have to work in China for 4 months at a time. Howard said it was unclear. It was unclear, certainly to myself and other engineers, what the plan was. He now works for Forever Energy. Yang acknowledges that he wanted his United States engineers to work in China, but he said it was because he thought that the power company could help teach them critical skills. You guys have already created it. You guys have already put in the hard work. What critical skills are left? Just like the television that went over to another country and is no longer being made here. So Yang was born in China. So don't you think maybe his loyalties and his allegiance was slanted there? I do. Yang was born in China but is a United States citizen and got his PhD at the University of Connecticut. He said he wanted to manufacture the entire battery in the United States, but that the U.S. does not have the supply chain he required. He said China is more advanced when it comes to manufacturing and engineering utility scale batteries. Quote, in this field, manufacturing and engineering, China is ahead of the United States, he said. Many wouldn't believe it. He said he didn't send the battery to and his engineers abroad to help China. He said that the engineers in that country were helping his Uni Energy Technologies employees and helping him get his batteries built. His batteries built. But the news reports at the time show the moves were helping China. The Chinese government launched several large demonstration projects and announced millions of dollars in funding for large-scale vanadium batteries. I hope somebody knows how to really say this and break it down for me. As battery work took off in China, Yang was facing more financial trouble here in the United States, so he made a decision that would again keep the technology from staying in the United States. The EU has strict rules about where companies manufacture products, and in 2021, Yang transferred the battery license to a European company based in the Netherlands. The company Vanadis Power told NPR it initially planned to continue making the batteries in China and then would set up a factory in Germany, eventually hoping to manufacture in the United States. And this comes from Roelof Plantenkamp, the company's founder and founding partner. Vanadis Power needed to manufacture batteries in Europe because the European Union has strict rules about where companies manufacture products, he said. Quote, I have to be a European company, certainly not Chinese company here in Europe. This is what he told NPR. Don't you love how they sort of throw an obscure side of a building picture in there? Here's the side of the building. But the United States has these types of rules too. Any transfer of a United States government license requires the U.S. government approval so that manufacturing does not move overseas. And the United States has lost significant jobs in recent years in areas where it first forged ahead, such as solar panels, drones, and telecom equipment. Still, when Uni Energy requested approval, it apparently had no trouble getting it. On July 7, 2021, a top official at Uni Energy Technologies emailed a government manager at the lab where the battery was created. The Uni Energy office official said that they were making the deal with Vanadis, according to emails reviewed by NPR, and were going to transfer the license to them. Quote, we're working to finalize a deal with Vanadis Power and believe that they have the right blend of technical expertise. Our transaction with them is ready to go pending your approval. The government manager responded that he needed confirmation before transferring the license and emailed a second employee at Uni Energy. The second employee responded an hour and a half later, and the license was transferred to Vanadis Power. Whether the manager or anyone else at the lab or Department of Energy thought to check during that hour and a half or after whether Vanadis Power was an American company or whether it was intended to manufacture in the United States is unclear. Vanadis' own website said that it planned to make the batteries in China. In response, the department officials said they review each transfer for compliance and said that new rules put in place last summer by the Biden administration will close loopholes and keep more manufacturing here. But agency officials acknowledge that its reviews often rely on good faith disclosures by the companies which means if companies such as Uni Energy Technologies don't say anything to the United States government, they may never know. That's a problem that has plagued the department for years, according to a government investigations or their investigators with the government. And in 2018, the Government Accountability Office found that the Department of Energy lacked resources to properly monitor its license, relied on antiquated computer systems, and didn't have consistent policies across its labs. You know, a lot of these federal agencies, and this is me talking, lack any of the wherewithal, lack the manpower, or lack anything to complete things. You guys remember we looked at the FDA and their lack of checking anything a few months ago. As a matter of fact, I believe that it was like a scathing story, a scathing investigation that was done that showed they don't check anything. Nothing. So in this case, it was an American company, Forever Energy, that raised concerns about the license with Uni Energy more than a year ago. Joanne Skivosky said that she and others from the company repeatedly warned the department officials that the Uni Energy license was not in compliance. In emails NPR has reviewed, department officials told them that it was. Quote, "How is it that the national lab did not require U.S. manufacturing?" Shivosky said. She continues, "It not only is it a violation of the license, it's a violation to our country, but our country doesn't care." This is me again. They don't care. Now that the Department of Energy has revoked the license, she hopes that Forever Energy will be able to acquire it and obtain a similar license. The company plans to open a factory in Louisiana next year and begin manufacturing. She bristles at the idea that U.S. engineers aren't up to the challenge. Well, they created it, right? She says that's hogwash. We are ready to go with this technology, closed quote. Still, she says that it will be difficult for any American company at this point to catch up. And that's exactly what I was just sitting here thinking. The industry trade reports currently list Deland Power Company as the top manufacturer of vanadium redox flow batteries worldwide. Now, she also worries about whether China will stop making the batteries once the American company is granted the right to start making them. No, I doubt it. They're just going to charge less, is what I feel. And this is me again talking. They're not going to stop, and I'll go on with the rest of it in a second, but they're not going to stop making them. I believe that what they'll do is they'll continue to make them, but they will bring the price so significantly low that the few companies here in the United States could not even begin to keep up and compete. And then once they've, kicked them out of the business, then they'll bring the price up again. That's what I think. The story goes on to say that may be unlikely. Chinese news reports say the country is about to bring online one of the largest battery farms in the world that the world has ever seen. The reports say the entire farm is made up of vanadium redox flow batteries. The link to this story is already down below in the description. It was sent to me today by Ronnie.d.Mann, and I so appreciate him for sending it. I was just working on some things that show how America has got so many things that China is either, in hot pursuit of, in partnership, in half ownership, and things of that nature. Because when we asked the question the other day, where did China get the nerve to think that they could tell us what we were going to do? These are the types of stories that let you know where they get the nerve. They understand that America is very purchasable. They understand that we are a country that has been sold off lot by lot, piece by piece, tree by tree, rung by rung. They know this. And so they know the game. They know the game. We've got loads of farmland that's owned by them. It's not just the smokescreen of Gates that makes us all have the conversation because we love to hate him. No, they own a great deal of our land. Loads of other countries own our land, and we don't hold anybody up there in Washington accountable. We keep sending the same people back. We keep voting for the same type of people. And just like a cancer and just like a fungus, once something takes hold and it just keeps going, it'll metastasize until the whole entire thing is gone. And that's exactly what's happening here. I'm you can't do these things that are going on here in other countries. You just can't. The things that are going on here, you're not allowed to do in other countries. For 1 second, if you would try to go over to China and do half of the things that we do or we allow, we would see a totally different light of day. It would be a totally different situation altogether. Totally different. Because the things that we allow are the fact that we are moved by this little bit of money. You guys make sure that you are still um, connected to the channel. Make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel. Please hit the like button if you like it. All right. But that's the problem with us. We have been sold off, completely sold off, completely sold off. And there's nothing that any of us can do. It is too far gone. That's the reason why I'm saying, as far as them having the batteries and doing them here, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. It is too far gone. Too far gone. It's too far gone. This technology that we started that looked great, you know, it would have been wonderful. It would have been wonderful. Here, this is the answer to how we do what we need to do what they are trying to get us to do. So every response, every answer that would prevent us from looking exactly like Mad Max and the Thunderdome in the next 20 years, we have sold off and given away. Part and parcel, we've done it. Everything that would prevent us from having people that look like Tina Turner and two men enter and one man leave, we've sold it out. We've given it to these people who literally do own us. Think about that. Daryl Watts says, that's the sad thing about it, is we want change, but when change is there and it is available, everyone says, oh, no, 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 no. We can't have that kind of change. We're so used to what we've got now. True. Audie Muse says, my aunt is the late congressional representative Louise Slaughter. Fought often and loud regarding our government leaders giving away our mineral land and tech rights to China. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joy Trujillo. Well, that will be the final kiss because there's nothing left. There's nothing left. This is really sad. I'm very happy to see who your aunt was and what she did. That's very good to know. Very, very good to know. Very good to know. You know, I before I learned about what politics was, and this is nothing against your aunt, but before I learned what it was, I really wanted to be in politics. I really did. I wanted to be in law and politics. Mm-hmm. Yep, I sure did. Took courses and classes and everything. And now, no thank you. No thank you. Oh, okay, baby. Baby, you can't be in the screen. Grandmother loves you, but you get me where we're gonna have to change the coding to see if a kid is in the video. Did you guys see him? Let me know that you didn't, if you didn't, because he loves grandmama and I love him. But he can't be in the screen because then we'd have to change it. Zeb or Joy. Did anybody see the baby? Robert, did anybody see the baby? So that way I know that I'll have to edit that piece out. Okay. But yeah, so just like I told you guys about the mineral rights, the mine that we have, and it's owned. The only one we have, half of it is owned by China. They have half the rights. You didn't see them? Okay. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, you guys. Yeah. The mineral rights are owned by China. It's the only one we have left. Which one was it, you guys? What was the name of it? Mineral. It's a mine. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. What's the name of it? There it is. Cobalt mines. And then I love the way that the alphabet group sort of shrouds everything, because as soon as you put it in, it's like, oh yeah, they own one out in Congo. Yeah, they own one here too. Okay. Okay. World resources identified cobalt resources of the United States are estimated to be about 1 million tons. I believe that it was in Montana, wasn't it, you guys? The one that they own part of it. Rare earth rancor. Is this it? This is it. 2017. Yeah, where they were trying not to do. Okay, so let's look at this. This was back in 2017. Yeah, this was back in 2017, where they were screaming that our government needed to stop the sale. It doesn't matter. We don't have a government. We don't. And that's the reason why I really, really think that we're not going to have much of a problem if anybody ever decided to go on ahead and just, try to secede. I don't think there would be much of an issue. But this was an old story from 2017. It says rare earth rancor. Feds must stop Chinese purchase of U.S. mine. The United States Bankruptcy Court has decided to sell a California mine, the sole U.S. source of rare earth minerals, to a consortium including Chinese mining company Shenghe Rare Earth and a shareholding company. That's the company that owns the other mine that I was talking about that has the cobalt, and I believe that it is in they have partial owners, and I believe that was Montana. I could be wrong. But if the transaction goes ahead, that it would turn over the unique domestic producer of these vital minerals used in many high-tech electronic products to a Chinese affiliated company. China already accounts for some of 90% of the world's production of rare earth minerals and has demonstrated its ability to prioritize its own Chinese customers with export restraints on rare earth imposed in 2019, causing anger and consternation worldwide. Mossad's the $20 million sale of the Mountain Pass. That's it. Mountain Pass. California mine follows the 2015 bankruptcy of Molycorp, a public company that invested over $1 billion trying to build a U.S. based producer of rare earths. There were two bidders interested in Molycorp's asset. ERP Strategic Minerals, a U.S. led consortium led by Tom Clark, a Virginia based entrepreneur and coal industry veteran, and last week's winning consortium, which includes JHL Capital Group, a QVT Financial, as well as Shingei. Clark told the Wall Street Journal that his ERP group intends to challenge the court's decision on national security grounds, although there have been conflicting reports on Shengei's role. The Wall Street Journal quoted a Chinese language document from Shengei saying that it would have a profit share as well as exclusive sales rights for Mountain Pass minerals. Rare Earths are a group of 17 little known elements, most of them with unpronounceable names, like neodymium, or ytterbium. However, many of them are used in small quantities in vital electronic components like smartphone displays, sensors, and electric motors. Those applications also make them vital for defense applications, and most major defense contractors depend on components and subsystems that contain rare earths. According to the U.S. Geological Survey last year, the United States imported $120 million worth of rare earth compounds. The vast majority came from China. That relatively small financial figure dramatically understates our dependence on rare earths because we also import billions of dollars worth of electronic products that contain rare earths. Some rare earth elements have strong magnetic properties used in electric motors. Growing demand for electric motors from two industries expected to grow fast in the coming years: electric cars and wind turbines. They add even more urgency to the need for a secure supply of rare earths. What is our problem? Why is it that we don't see the necessity in this? It's because we really allowed the lunatics to run the asylum. Chinese quotas. In 2009, China imposed quotas on rare earth exports and cut off supplies to Japan, claiming it needed to reorganize its domestic industry. And in a rare display of concern for the environment, the Chinese government also cited the environmental damage of the mines, attributing landslides, clogged rivers, environmental pollution emergencies, and even major accidents and disasters to its rare earth mining industry. Some observers suspected that China's real goal was to boost its own high tech industry at the expense of competitors. Japan and the United States and other nations complained at the World Trade Organization, or the WTO, which ruled in 2014 that China was violating WTO rules. Nobody cares. At the end of 2014, China abandoned its quotas, exports rose again, and the rare earth prices plummeted. An unfortunate byproduct of that series of events was the bankruptcy of Molycorp, which could not compete at the lower price levels. Do you see that? Rare earths are critical to the United States on three grounds: national security, today's mainstream electronics products, and tomorrow's industry of the future, like electric cars. If ever there was a case for the federal government to step up and ensure the United States' own alternative to an industry dominated by China, this is it. Defense consultant James Kennedy wrote last year, remember the date of this was 2017, excuse me, wrote last year that all rare earth metallurgy used in the United States defense system originates or must pass through China. Kennedy argued that in 1998, the United States lost its leading rare earth company, Maganaquench, when that company was sold to members of Deng Xiaoping's family. The Mega Quench company was shut down, moved, and reopened in China in 2003. Kennedy said that until the United States has a secure source of rare earths, the Pentagon has built its entire advanced weapon strategy on Chinese quicksand. It's a good quote. New mandate for CFIUS. At the Coalition for a Prosperous America, we have argued that the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States and the interdepartmental federal agency charged with overseeing foreign takeovers of sensitive U.S. companies should broaden its mandate and block some takeovers. Not only on national security grounds, but also on the grounds of economic security. The proposed Shanghai Mountain Pass acquisition is a good illustration. And that's the mountain that I'm talking about, you guys, the Mountain Pass, that one. In addition to the national security concerns, rare earths are vital to our economy. We simply cannot afford to have such a broad and vital set of products dependent on one country's source of supply, particularly when that country is now engaged in merging and consolidating the industry, increasing government control, and has already shown willingness to use the industry as an economic weapon. This is the reason why they are able to say, we're answering the question. This is how they're able to say, she bet not come around here. That's how they were able to say it. She bet not come here. She bet not come to Taiwan. She bet not. Now you see, Korea refused to see her because China probably got in touch with that other side and said, hey, look here, y'all bet not see her. Well, they know what side their bread is buttered on, and they opt not to do it. But this is the answer. When we say, how do they get the nerve? Where do they get the nerve to come and tell us what we can and can't do, where we can and cannot send struggling Pelosi? How can they tell us what to do? Well, this is how. This is how. You let the fox in the back door, and then you expect every single chicken in the coop to stay. Every wolf, every fox came through the back door of the barn, and you're expecting to see your biddies. You think all your biddies are going to be there? You let the fox in the back door? Please. They don't care. They own us. That's how they can demand stuff. That's how. That's how. Our government, let me see, this is not only good for the United States, but good for the allies like Japan. Let's start here. Yeah, this is not only good for us, but good for allies like Japan, who would thank us for taking steps to create a reliable alternative source of supply. Our government must understand that good foreign relations need not mean outsourcing our supply chain. This was in 2017. And this dodo was now saying that we're going to have the cars done by 2030. No, we're not. It's going to be a hot rump mess. Nobody will care, but it's going to be a mess. It can instead mean insourcing our supply chain and then selling to other nations at competitive free market rates. If the federal government has to take action to support this enlightened strategy, such as guaranteed research and development dollars to United States companies that commit to buy Mountain Pass rare earth, so be it. Well, that didn't happen. The environmental concerns over rare earth mining are very real. That's one reason China dominates the industry. Rare earths are usually found as a byproduct of mining for more widely used minerals such as iron ore. Most mining companies outside of China avoid the expensive and the dirty processing operations necessary to extract rare earths. However, David Wirt, the public affairs executive of California's San Bernardino County, told CPA the county is in favor of reopening the mine as a confident and is confident that practices can be developed to mine the minerals safely. So that is America's problem. And that is how we're answering. That is how they were able to say she'd better not come over here. That's how. That's how they were able to say it. They had no fear. They could say that because everything belongs to them. All of it. That's sad, you guys. That's not nice. That isn't nice at all. So I wanted to bring that story to you because I found it very, very amazing that the United States would make a breakthrough like that with the batteries, as big as a refrigerator, that could power a house for 30 years with our tax dollars and then turn right around and give it to them. But the deal, the real deal is they bully you into believing that when you want to defend your country, you are everything rotten under the sun. Bob Jones, how you doing? Robert, how you? 12 day SHH. Hey. Disciple of the Messiah 1, how you doing? Okay. Joy Trio, frogs, me boiling. Always put the frog in the pot with boiling water, and of course it's going to be a problem. But if you put the frog in the pot in a cold pot of water or cool pot of water and then pull it up ever so gently, well, you got frogs. Hot sauce, anyone? Frog legs. Hot sauce, anybody? This is bad. This is bad. I think there's a lot that's gone on that we have no clue about, that we're just seeing little drips, little drips, little drips. We have no clue exactly what is going on. We don't. We only have an idea of what it is. But I truly and honestly feel like if we really knew what was really going on, we would just lose our lunch. We would lose our lunch if we had any clue whatsoever as to what was really, really shaking. Whole lunch would be just destroyed. This is a mess. But hey, Alan, TNT Live free, live freely. Hey, just imagine what we don't know about. Just imagine what we don't know about. You guys go ahead and hit the like button for me if you don't mind. It's absolutely free. I so appreciate you for doing that. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So you guys, we're just gonna have to remember that hey B, yeah, and then also you consider the fact that those batteries are doing so much. The the solar panels, and all that other stuff. They're doing so much. You see what I mean? There's so many things that we could do. It just really does. For those of us who really do, who had a great revere and had great love for what our country used to be. Okay, it does break your heart. But we also know that these things are these things are due to happen. They're due to happen. Thank you for that, Mary. I love being here with you guys. Yeah, you know what? This right here, you see that? That is a hot mess, right, Ting? That is a hot mess. I don't buy it. Nobody buys it. None of us buy it. Okay? Yeah. You see, so this really does, it just bothers me. It really, really, really gets my goat, because when I look at it and I see that, we have such beautiful, wonderful minerals here. We had such beautiful farmland all throughout California, and what's gone on is literally shuttering this country down, shuttering it down. Here's the deal. I believe that by the time Prince died and the Purple Revolution started, I believe that they had already done the bulk of the damage, that the bulk of the work was done, and that this is like, you know, the sweep up. That's what I think. I think that it was already done by the time the Purple Revolution was started at his death. I believe that the majority of it was already sold out. Yep. What do you guys think? Think so? I think so. Hey, Marty. Yeah, I think so. All right, you guys. I've gotten you back to back 2 times. My client had to cancel, which was not a bad thing, because I get to come back and hang out with you guys a little bit more. Right? So that was a good thing. Yeah, he was, but I really want you to study that. I really want you to study him, TNT. I really want you to study him. Study everything. Study when he came on the scene, where the first concert was. I want you to study everything. Study all the songs. Study everything. Study everything. Study everything. And then tell me what you see. Because I've studied Mr. Prince. I've loved him since I was in the 9th grade. Loved him, loved him, loved him. But something about him. Something about him. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Okay. You're so welcome. All of you. You are all so welcome. I love you guys. All of you. Omega Bison Retaliation. Oh, yeah. You got to look for the color they wear. Look for the color they wear. Look for everything. All right. Look for everything. Look for the colors. Look for the hand movements. Look for the gestures. Look for everything. And it was so funny. I told you guys I found it hilarious that, well, look, yeah, you should check everything. You should. Because somebody asked me, what's with the one eye on your thing? And I was like, well, honestly, I took the picture on a camera and then I made that backdrop on my cell phone. And it's the only way that I could get it. And, but I don't blame you for asking. You got to ask. You hadn't gotten a recommendation from videos from Headlines of the Voice in a while. That is terrible. Ooh la la. I really don't like to hear that. I just don't. That really breaks my heart because a lot of people have said that in the most recent past. Somebody said they hadn't gotten an alert from us for over 8 months, and I thought, gee, that's terrible. But I always tell everybody to do what Monograph suggests, and that's clear out your cache, unsubscribe, clear out your cache, wait a couple of minutes, and then resubscribe and hit the bell notification. And some have reported that that works absolutely fine. I know he said that works fine, and I know that I had to do it for his channel, so it worked okay for me. So you may want to try it. Now that I think about it, I do remember. Right? It's deep. Bryce Taylor, thanks for the memories. Kind of deep. All right, you guys. I want you to remember what we always say here on any Felicia Lockhart publication, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. I want you guys to remember to take care of yourselves, and then I want you to retch around, and I want you to take care of somebody else after that, okay? But until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective. I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe.